Hi, this is the Black Bear Prepper, and today I want to talk about water systems. And what I mean by that is kind of my all-around water system. What I use when I'm going into the woods for for getting water and for storing water and using water. Okay, and I have kind of a system I really like. It's a modular system where I can kind of change up whatever I need to do to make things different, or add filters or take away filters. But starting, kind of my whole system comes around, and I'll show you here. This is my favorite filter. This is the Katadyn Vario water filter. I have 5 of these water filters. I really like them, mainly because they have a lot of different features that a lot of the other ones don't. One, and I'm not, you've seen my filter videos. You have your ceramic filters, which can be cleaned, and this one's pretty dirty. It needs to be, definitely needs to be probably replaced here, and that's replaceable by itself. Then you have your filter, which is a fiber filter, which does not need to be cleaned on a trip. We just did a trip with about 50 gallons of water we pumped out of one filter. I mean, it was brown as all get out, maybe even a little more, truthfully. I mean, I know I pumped 6 gallons of water myself. And the nice thing is that this little cap right here allows you to be able to pop out and dump out the carbon and replace the carbon, which is a lot different than a lot of the other carbon type filters out there. Now, it also allows you to bypass the ceramic filter in case it breaks or anything like that. So you just put it on there, you put it on long life using the ceramic filter, fast flow if you're bypassing the ceramic filter. It makes it real simple. And I keep these systems set up in a little Tupperware bucket that I keep them all out so they can dry out, and I can see what's in the kit and make sure, when I pick them out, I've got a good ceramic filter, and then I've got a regular, I've got a good regular filter, and then I mark on the date when the last time I changed out the carbon, and they're numbered and they're put back in their box. Now from there, getting the water to the item. Now the nice thing about the Katadyn water filter is that you can unplug the hose here, and your standard Nalgene bottles will screw right onto the end here. So your Camelback, your Nalgenes, any of that same size bottle, a lot of your aluminum bottles and stainless steel bottles have that same attachment, will screw right on, which makes it really easy there. Now, if you don't have a bottle, let's say that has that attachment, maybe it has a really small head on it, as far as maybe if it's even a water bottle. This little attachment here allows you to push it over the side, and it locks it in place and holds it in place while you're pumping. Real neat feature. I really like it a lot. Now, some of the other people that may have this filter, notice this guy on here on the end. This is a quick release attachment. Now, these are made by, I buy the ones by Sawyer. Katadyn makes one too. I just like the ones by Sawyer because they're cheap. They cost you about $9, $10, matter where you buy them. So basically what you're going to do is it comes with 3 different attachments. You have your end here that plugs into your adapter. You push them together, it locks into place, and now you got a quick release connector. And then it just slides onto both sides. Now, why would I do that? Well, it makes it really easy while I'm on the trail. So let's get into what I carry on the trail with me, and you'll kind of understand why I do this a little bit more here in a second. Now on the trail, I carry one of 2 bags. I carry the dromedary bags by MSR. They have the same 2-inch opening here for your Nalgene, Camelback, all those style bottles. So let's kind of get this out of the way now that we've seen that guy. And this is their lightweight version, which I really like. This is their 4-liter version, so basically a gallon of water. And that is great for, being able to stick down in your bag. And then they have a hose system that screws onto the top here. So you take your cap, you screw it on, and now you have your system here that's real nice. They also make a system that I have that hooks this up to a shower. So it takes, you just unplug this guy and put the shower system on here, which is really nice. Now, the system I use most is their heavy duty bags. These guys are really super tough. They're reinforced the neck, which is what I really like about them, because it's kind of hard sometimes to screw them onto the pump with the other type. So this reinforced neck is really nice. And the heavier duty bag with the already built-in grommets and ropes and everything makes it really nice to be able to hang in camp. Now, why would I want to hang it in camp? Well, once I've filled it up, I take my valve here and I tighten it on, and now I have a bladder system that I can wash my hands. I can store large amounts of water. This is their 2-gallon version. Really, really super awesome system that allows people to not have to go back and pump water every single time their water bottle fills out, or if they want water for washing hands, it's nice to be able to turn it on and actually wash your hands underneath the water. So most people get sick from, you know, waterborne diseases and bacteria and things like that from washing their hands. So having something like this that you can wash your hands without touching, usually what we'll do is we'll have somebody with clean hands open the valve, and we want to wash it down every day to make sure it's clean, to make sure we're not getting anything on there. So putting a little hand sanitizer on there to kind of sanitize the handle. Then we can go ahead and open it up. Other thing that's nice is it has a little dust cover here to keep it from getting dirty while it's in your pack. So once we've got here, that kind of tells you what I use as my bladder system in the woods. Now, I use the Nalgene water bladder bite valves, and I like these a lot because they have a magnet on the back, so I can literally take them. I put the little magnet on my chest, and I'll just stick it right onto my chest. Makes it real simple. Now, when I'm hiking, a lot of times you're hiking a distance where you're going to need water in between stops. So I can kind of plan to refill my water bladder, you know, as I travel. I usually plan on traveling about a ½ liter per hour is usually how much water I drink. So it's kind of nice. What I can do is as I get to where I'm going, I leave my bladder inside my backpack. We pull over at a little river or a pond or something like that. I can go ahead and take my bite valve off. I pop it right out. I take my water filter. I plug the water filter in. And now I can pump directly back into the water bladder. So I can fill my bladder right back up again, which is a great feature if you've ever sat there and had to do long trips. And then we just unplug it, plug my bite valve back in, and I'm ready to go again. Now, the other nice thing I like about the Nalgene bite valves is they're an on-off system. It turns on and off. In the wintertime, I use the Deuter hose cover that zips on, which is kind of a great system also. So, you know, like I said, it's kind of a system where I can sit there and I can add filters, take away filters, and do different things. The other thing I carry with me is the Katadyn Mini. This is my backup filter when I'm only carrying one filter. It weighs about half as much as the full-size filter. It is very, very slow. But versus carrying two of the big Katadyns, this is kind of a neat feature as a backup. This will do anywhere from about 5 to 10 people water-wise, even more if you're willing. So, you know, kind of keep that in mind. I can sit there, I can add a couple more filters of these. If I have a bigger trip, maybe I have 15 people, I'll bring 3 of these. If I've only got 4 people, I'll bring a backup here and a filter here. Water is really the most important thing while you're in the woods. You use it for everything we do. So kind of keep that in mind. Make sure that you're filtering your water. Always filter your water from a lake, not from a stream if possible. Streams tend to make the water turbulent, you know, and they're going to kick up the different viruses and bacteria and things like that, protozoas. What we're dealing with these guys is we want them to be stagnant, so all those items fall to the bottom and we filter off the top. Another reason why I like their filters, they have a pre-filter and a float bob that's adjustable that I can filter kind of off the top of the water. You know, so I'm not down in the mud, but I'm also not on the top. Kind of a neat feature. Also, Katadyn keeps, if you'll see here, and these hoses have all been washed, but you want to separate out your hoses. So they keep a outlet hose bag that you put all your outlet hoses in. This filter also has dual pumping. One thing I always tell everybody about the Vario water filters, occasionally they will get stuck. If you flip them upside down and pump upside down, they work a lot better. So you'll pump them upside down to get them started, and usually flipping them back over will keep them working. Or flipping them up if they're in really bad shape. You know, if you haven't used them a long time like that, sometimes there's a valve inside that will stick, and you can run them upside down. I've ran them upside down a whole trip just to get them going back until I can replace the part that's internally in them. Filters break down all the time. I found that every trip I go on, my filters tend to last longer than everybody else's before they have any issues. We did, like I said, you know, I would say anywhere from 60 to 100 gallons out of one of the filters this last trip, and it rocked the whole time. Everybody used it because all their filters had broke down, so we had about 40 people on the trip. We were able to, actually it was a little more than that, a little closer to 50 people on the trip, and 90% of the filters broke down. We only had about 2 filters that were working the whole trip. We were able to use ours for that trip, so it constantly got used, constantly borrowed. So it was, and they're very fast filters. They filter about 2 to 3 liters a minute, mattering what setting you've got them on. You know, they'll pump about 1 liter a minute on their long life setting, which needs to be that, you know, that disc constantly needs to be cleaned every few gallons. But overall, this is the system I use. I really like it because I can put a shower kit on there. I can put a, you know, water kit on there for washing my hands. I can use it as a water bladder. You want to use multiple things. Kind of want to be able to work for your system. You don't want to sit there and say, okay. And the biggest thing you always want to have is to make sure that you never use just one filter. You want to always have 2 filters. Like I said, they do break down all the time. I don't care what version you have. You've got, I've had MSRs break down. I've had Pure break down. I've had Katadyns break down. I've had every version of water filtration. You know, the sweet waters, all those other types. All of them have broke down on a trip. So if you haven't had them break down, you're not camping enough. So camp more. So kind of keep that in mind. Like I said, this is my system. This is what I use. I've been using this system for about 15 years now, on and off. Different versions of the Katadyn filter. I think this guy came out about 10 years ago, maybe a little less. But when it first came out, I switched from the Hiker Pro to this guy. I like this guy a lot better. The Hiker Pro is a little lighter, but I think the efficiency of this makes it a lot nicer. So, as always, this is the Black Bear Prepper. If you have any questions, please put them down in the bottom. Share our videos if you like them. Tell your friends about them. And tell us if we need to change something about our videos. But as always, have a great day.